Hello, welcome. It's yet another episode of A Star to Steer Her By, your favorite Star Trek watching podcast. We're still watching Enterprise. We're so close to done. We're so close to done that it's actually very strange because it's the rest of the season is kind of like spinning out. Because the episodes we are covering this week are the two penultimate before the finale, Demons and Terra Prime. And after 364 episodes,
woo, fucker.
Y'all know this is Ames.
This is Caitlin.
This is Jake.
And this is Chair.
Thank you, Chair. All right. There's so much that happens in these two episodes. I'm going to clump them as one because they're a two-parter. It's going to be a long synopsis, so strap the fuck in and stay off of Mars. Alrighty, Demons...
This is usually very good advice.
Yeah, Demons and Terra Prime. And this week's theme is Convenient Plot Twist, the episode! Let's see how many we get. It's going to be a ton. So let's start off. We start off Demons on the moon, where John Frederick Paxton, the head of the Orpheus mining facility, and his doctor pal Mercer are looming over what just looks like a baby Vulcan in an incubator. It's a fine baby. It's fine. This is a perfectly normal thing.
It's a fine baby you have there.
Welcome to Rate My Baby Corner.
Fine baby.
It's no Borg baby.
So what is that, like a 6 or 7 on a scale of 10?
Yeah. Well, I get some extra points for having the Vulcan ears, which means it'll probably be well behaved.
Oh, like an 8?
Yeah.
All right, I'm on board.
And this is also a perfectly normal thing for mining folks to be doing. Thanks, teaser. We're teased, I guess. We saw a baby. That's it. We don't know.
I feel outright insulted.
Fuck this teaser, in fact. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Minister Samuels is speechifying at some alien delegates about creating a coalition of planets, while the Enterprise crew has to watch awkwardly from a staircase and not get any credit for some reason.
Yeah, what? We need you to come back to Earth. And they just forget to mention.
They don't have enough chairs.
No chairs.
Stand
no
there
Menchie.
in the corner.
Should have invited all my clones.
So many clones. Anyway, we meet reporter Gannett Brooks, who is also Mayweather's old frame, who seems to want some.
Are you seeing those arms?
I was gonna say, we've all seen those guns. We get it.
Damn. And Mayweather can get it, and eventually he will. Suddenly, this rando has wandered in to what should have been a secure location. Susan Corey, and she shambles up to T'Pol raving about something or other and gives her a vial with a hair sample in it, which is normal. And then dies, which is less normal, because she got this fucking phaser wound to the chest. Turns out...
I was gonna say, it's pretty normal when you've got a hole blown in you like that.
But how did it get there?
I not know.
We'll find out. So it turns out the hair is from that baby we saw. She's actually a Vulcan-human hybrid, though there was no way of knowing that from the teaser when it just looks like a Vulcan baby.
It had human eyebrows.
It's a baby. You can't do... They barely have eyebrows.
I mean, they wouldn't just CG'd it if they really wanted it to be Vulcan like they do with those ears.
You know, I know that we didn't know, but I assumed.
Interesting. Anyway, bum. Did you also assume that she's tripping T'Pol's kid?
I kind of did. I'm not gonna
fair.
lie.
Okay.
This show is fucking stupid, so yeah, kind of.
It's the convenient plot twist of it all.
Well, here's the thing, okay? The Vulcans don't believe in time travel, but we've established it's real, and
multiple universes, which are real.
And did I mention this show is stupid?
Basically, you made the assumption because, what's the dumbest thing this could be? Oh, I know. And you're right, because it's Enterprise.
Well, but I mean, I like their baby. It leads to, go on.
We're gonna go on. We're gonna go on about how pointless this fucking baby is. Anyway.
No, the ears are very pointy.
What about its ears? God damn it!
Yes, all good! We're doing great, and we're only 2 points in. Anyway, T'Pol specifically remembers not having been pregnant. And everyone...
Sorry,
you really take her word for it, though? I mean, bitches.
I mean, it's a very new baby.
Oh, it is a new baby.
It's like very small. She would have remembered this thing. But everyone else seems to forget that we're in a science fiction show this week because, there's things like cloning and like the Vulcan politics. They take your DNA at birth, and we've met a child of Trip and T'Pol in E squared before. But whatever. It's all a mystery.
Yeah.
We're to pretend this is not a thing. In fact, it's a bad thing. Because it'll stoke all the alien racism that's been brewing on Earth in the form of the Terra Prime movement, who just want aliens to go away. So, for some reason, Reed goes and talks to his Agent Harris friend, that dick, and we learn absolutely nothing from him except that he really wants Reed to join Section 31. God damn it. Good thing this show is almost over and we're never going to see Section 31 again, guys.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to leave mistakes like this in the past.
Yes. No more of this after Enterprise is over.
At least the show has the decency to know that Section 31 is not nice people.
That's true.
God. So instead of Harris telling us anything, Paxton and Mercer show us...
Ames, I'm sorry. I know I said I wouldn't try not to, but let's be fair. He gave us a cryptic Hannibal Lecter and Silence of the Lambs-esque, like, look inside yourself, Reed, kind of thing. Like, it wasn't, not completely useless. Anyway, go on. I will not again, I promise.
I don't believe you. So instead of Harris telling us anything to move the plot forward, Paxton and Mercer show us, which is a good writing technique, that they're big Terra Prime assholes who are really into the teachings of Colonel Green, who we remember from being an example of evil from the Savage Curtain. Neat. Oh, and Paxton had Mercer killed for reasons by his goon Greaves, who Jake and I started referring to as Phony Todd. So I'm going to for the rest of the episode.
He's actually famous, but we'll get to that.
I didn't recognize him. I was like, this guy's got big Tony Todd energy.
He does.
Which guy?
Greaves, the tall black guy, instead of the slightly less tall black guy.
Gotcha. Yep.
I think RoboCop's got a type. And Phlox has figured out that the baby's on the moon, something Harris could have told us.
Baby's on the moon, we carry a harpoon, but there ain't no will, so we tell tall tales and sing our baby tune.
You were waiting. You had that queued
so
up, didn't
patiently
you?
for that.
No, I just as soon as A said baby on the moon, I couldn't stop myself.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it grew up in low gravity. Hey, you know where there's low gravity? The fucking moon. That's the 1 out of 1 places we're trying. So
Ames, you're on a fucking roll today.
I wrote most of this up. Some of this is fun. Mostly because it's fucking ridiculous, this episode. So Trip and T'Pol are going to go snoop around the moon to go find their baby. And they're undercover as miners because, they look so much like miners.
I mean, it's easier to find babies if you're disguised as a minor. Because people will just think you're another baby.
This is our best synopsis in a very long time. So they meet up with Josiah, the other bald black guy who RoboCop likes hanging out with, and he's really into the Terra Prime movement, and he's giving speeches and shit. But he also says, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna use Trip because I know he's not a minor. He's actually Trip Tucker, and he's an Enterprise guy, and get him."
But I was undercover. How did you know?
Very bad Trip. Everyone has seen your face all over the place, even though fucking Samuels doesn't give you credit. God damn it. So
yeah, that's a good point. Why did they think this would work? All right.
So Trip and T'Pol are captured fucking immediately, and Paxton speech-advised racist bullshit at them for a while. But plot twist! Again! It turns out Mayweather's little fuck toy is actually a Terra Prime spy! And Hoshi uncovered her malfeasance because Gannett was hacking the universal translators or something. Anyway, go Hoshi. She did a thing this week. Plot twist again! I got another one for you! It turns out the mining facility, which is for mining on the moon and should be, attached to the surface of the moon, is somehow a ship. Follow me on this, guys. It's a rocket ship that's capable of warp.
It's a flying saucer, no less.
And it flies to Mars because it wants to take over the Verteron array, which is usually used to deflect comets. But if you just aim it not at a comet, it's a giant fucking weapon.
They turned the Mars into the Death Star.
They did it. And apparently it was always the Death Star and no one just used it like this before.
Yep.
So Paxton sets the target to Starfleet HQ for reasons. And he says, all aliens have to vacate Earth in 24 hours or I'm going to blow up Starfleet headquarters. Zap, zap, zap. And I think somewhere around here is where Demons ends and Terra Prime's begins. It's kind of like, I'm just going to segue straightly into Terra Prime because we're back now. We're back in Terra Prime. Archer refuses to just blow up the Verteron array for some stupid reason. Usually he's super into this kind of thing. And, he's on a military-grade starship that can probably do it. But
Well, because it would wipe out hundreds of thousands of people on Utopia.
And since they're not Xindi, he doesn't want to kill them.
Yeah, there might be humans there, man.
Yeah, so I guess Paxton's message is getting beamed all over the place, and the message is, this is the face of evil! And then he shows you the baby being cute!
She really didn't think that through.
Paxton's a nutcase.
Half of Earth went, aww.
Wait, why am I racist?
Aww. So T'Pol gets to meet the baby, and she has a very sweet scene with Baby. Meanwhile...
Hello, baby, I am your mother.
You need a name.
I thought that was just so cute.
I choose Baby.
It's logical.
So Paxton is forcing Tucker to refine his array, even though he's a prisoner here. And apparently Paxton had his DNA swabbed off the ship by his mole on the Enterprise. Guys, there's a mole on the Enterprise. Let's start guessing who it is. I guess Kelby. It's definitely going to be Kelby. God, Reed talks to Harris again, which is a mistake. And it's so...
No, but they shake hands. It's good.
It's so fucking pointless I could weep. God damn it.
Yeah.
But we learn the one thing that Reed could have found out on his own, which is that if we go to Mars and fly 10 meters above the surface, we won't be detected. Shit.
Seems like a bad system, man.
New plot twist. There's a comet going towards Mars.
Holy shit.
They've got this Verteron array. It should do something. I wonder what it should do.
It's a good thing RoboCop made his plan at the same exact time this comet was due to hit Mars. Otherwise, they'd have been fucked.
I don't know what would have
Ex
happened.
Machina.
Yeah.
It's not like they have a Suliban cloaking device sitting in a closet somewhere.
Shit!
When they said if they can't see us
I was
coming,
waiting for that too.
I was like, holy shit, they finally remembered the ship that they found.
But the thing is, they remembered it last week in the Mirror episode because they also had a Suliban.
But these writers don't talk.
Apparently not.
This is getting absurd, guys. But we have a new plot twist.
What?
Plot twist the 5th or 6th.
I can't take any more plot twists.
I've lost count of plot twists.
My back hurts.
Gannett isn't a Terra Prime member. She's some kind of intelligence agent, apparently.
That's exactly what I would expect someone in Terra Prime to say.
Isn't it, though? And no one has any idea what to do with this information because there's so much going on. So it's like, stay in the brig. We'll deal with you when we get back from this obviously suicide mission.
Oh, yeah.
So Mayweather uses the comet as a cover to fly the shuttle pod right down to Mars with Archer, which makes sense. Reed, which makes sense. Phlox makes no fucking sense. To go down to the surface, and Tucker immediately escapes from whatever closet Paxton has put him in, because of course he fucking does.
Well, they gave him the world's most elaborate belt. It was like, belt plus lockpicking kit.
The belt was nice, yeah. I mean, seriously, put him in a closet with no gizmos on the wall. He's an engineer. You know he's going to poke the gizmos.
Well, you know what? Scotty hadn't been invented yet, so they didn't realize how formidable an engineer could really be,
Nice. So didn't
he also escape from a closet in the Nazi compound?
Oh, of course he did.
I think so. Or was that him, or was that him replaced by Silic?
No, this was after Silic. Silic and Mayweather, probably, who didn't get a line, they went off on their own, and Trip was left, gagged and bound or some shit.
But then he, while gagged and bound, he, climbed a pipe and crawled through a window.
He sure did.
Well,
this man loves escaping closets.
It's his favorite
thing. He read a lot. When he wasn't reading about engineering as a teenager, he was reading about Houdini.
Yeah. So
that tracks.
We're getting close, guys. We all meet up in Paxton's office, of all places. And there's a small firefight. I forget some specifics of the firefight because the point is, the window breaks. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Sure does.
Even though they had already made a point to say, the pressure on Mars is the same as it is inside. But okay, sure. And I guess Paxton turns on the Verteron thinger, but Trip had scooted it, a fraction of a degree this way. So instead of hitting Starfleet HQ, it hits George and Gracie.
Oh no!
Let's be fair. One of their oh no, this is before.
Oh, this wouldn't
actually, no, there
have
are
happened
no
yet.
humpback whales to kill
Oh,
yet.
good. So nothing. It hits nothing. It just
Or
hits
no,
the
maybe
bank.
this is the event that drove them to extinction.
It was like the last four got sizzled by Trip.
Damn it, Trip.
God damn it, Trip!
All right. So I guess because of that, we capture Paxton, question marks, something happens. But, oh crap, guys, we have to solve that mystery that no one cared
Mystery?
about.
Oh yeah.
Which mystery?
Who's the mole on the Enterprise who tried to sabotage the shuttle and Mayweather didn't realize? It's gonna be Kelby, right? It's the only other crew member whose name we know. Oh, it's this rando, Ensign Massaro, who we've never met before, and he
Literally.
And we never will
offs
again.
himself instead of, seeing punishment.
Oh yeah, trigger warning for suicide.
Okay, that all happened. Meanwhile, T'Pol has named the baby Elizabeth, but Elizabeth is sick and dies because Mercer was a hack.
Mm-hmm.
And there's apparently no reason that humans and Vulcans can't interbreed. Wink. Did you catch the wink? I winked.
I mean, they
Listeners,
also
did you
knew
get
this
that?
because of E squared, so...
We're pretending E squared didn't happen, I think.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Archer gives a speech about his big special best friendship fleet, and maybe there's hope after all. We'll see in the finale. The end.
This wasn't the finale? I could have sworn there's no further Enterprise episodes after this one.
This is it. This is the end of Enterprise.
Yeah.
It's a flawed episode in so many ways, but
A lot of ways.
thematically, I feel like it's on point. It's about, like, it's weird. This either needed to be the finale or it needed to be a first season episode where, like, we're recognizing that humanity is fucking terrified.
Yeah, they're not ready for this either, so.
At all. Yeah, like, when you think about the fact that there are people for whom dragging themselves out of the aftermath of World War III is possibly still in living memory.
Mm.
Or even if they are all dead, like, I mean, Archer knew Zephram fucking Cochrane. Like, people talk to their grandparents who were like, I remember when the world ended, And now it's like, everything we understood about reality changed one day due to an insane drunkard from Montana. So, and again, it's such as we just established, it is an hilariously convoluted mess. But the theme of, like, like, humanity is it's early days. They're not the Starfleet and the people we will come to know. And this is a hard process. But even, like, having Trip there at one point with that guy being like, yeah, I was kind of a dick once too, but then I, just chilled the fuck out.
Yeah, I actually, talked to T'Pol naked a lot.
Yeah.
Trip.
So
It would have
much.
been. I think it would have been nice if, like, Terra Prime had been introduced way
earlier?
in the show,
Yeah.
and this was sort of the culmination of of a plot that had been building up throughout the show's run.
because we've got a couple, like, Phlox got
Yeah.
attacked. Someone could have been like, this is from Terra Prime, or
They
like,
don't plan ahead on this show.
no, I mean, I know that.
And we know
but
that, like,
I
Terra
just-
Prime
you're
isn't a
right,
new
though, and we
thing.
had chances. We had chances, is all I'm saying. Like, I'm with you.
They make it a point that
Oh, yeah, Samuels was a member or something
that
once.
Samuels was a member. I mean, obviously, like, as soon as we find out that the terrorist group is Terra Prime, you can't see it because it's a cut scene, but there's a bit where Archer actually, like, tears up his Terra Prime membership card.
No!
No, look at this.
Well, that is
If
actually...
your terrorist group is called Terra Prime, does that make you a terrorist?
That was an interesting
Yes.
sort of, like, parallel thing they tried to kind of tease out at the end, but it's like both Archer and RoboCop are Nepo babies.
RoboCop.
Like, because even him, he's like, he at least admits his father built all of it, unlike most, like, dickheads that inherit their wealth. But that's all he is. He is the, what's really, what is his actual name? No, not Paxton.
Yeah,
It's
Paxton.
Paxton. What's frustrating about him is, like, not that these people...
He's so handsome and yet so evil.
No,
But you
it's
can't
that...
understand every third word that comes out of his mouth.
No,
Oh,
not
yeah,
that. Not
definitely
that.
that too.
Damn it.
It's that what's frustrating is, like, again, as we've talked about, I think, a couple times, whenever, like, they do fascists, and we're just like, this is just daily life right now. Like, oh, what's this? A crazed billionaire who wants to stoke fucking
discontent.
Racism and discontent, so he's gonna hijack the Verteron array. It's like, God damn it, how have we regressed so much in 20 years?
Yeah, this really did feel like very timely. Well, like somehow,
and like,
you know, it's like, wow, this is
actual internet racist. And again, this isn't a new idea, but internet douchebags have made it more prominent in the past decade-ish. The fucking Great Replacement theory. That is literally what he's pushing on about, which is, for those of you who are lucky enough to somehow not know what this is, basically racist white people being like, they're bringing in immigrants, you know, people are engaging in miscegenation, and the white race is going to vanish. And
well, what a shame that would be.
And that's why he's like, to him, he's not just like, look at this cute baby. It's like, look, it's the literal representation of miscegenation.
You're going to lose our ears.
And the thing is, that's one of those things that really...
But we're going to get better ears.
It's not going to change anyone's mind. It's only going to reinforce people who were already on your side, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MAGA movement is, not great.
Yeah.
Something bugged me. I'm going to share a link here in the chat. Y'all can click on it.
Gonna click on it.
Oh, this should be interesting.
It's from NASA.gov.
Yes, it is a photograph of Earth from the surface of Mars.
Okay. It's a tiny...
Oh, well, I can even see Earth from here.
It's a teeny dot.
That was the moon, wasn't it?
It's a teeny tiny dot. It's like a star. You know, it's like basically what Mars looks like from Earth. Maybe slightly bigger.
And bluer.
I fail to see how when Trip retargeted the Verteron array, like, first of all, the fact that you could target
anything from that distance.
As small as a building from Mars, from a moving planet towards another moving planet that's moving in multiple dimensions, because
actually they're both spinning and orbiting.
They're both spinning and orbiting.
Spinning. Well, what would happen if it were if it were the other side of the planet?
Well, maybe that's why he made his ultimatum for when he did.
Yeah.
Like,
that's interesting.
But anyway, the fact that you could target a building on Earth from Mars is ridiculous to begin with. But then the fact that Trip retargets it, and it only hits like a couple miles away. I'm like, you can breathe on that thing, and it's going to shoot off into space.
Well, I was thinking of like that joke in Airplane 2, where they're like, I forget the exact phrase, but something, we're a tiny bit off course. And someone's like, what does that mean? It's like, well, in space terms, 100,000 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. The fact that they should have just showed it shooting off out into space.
That would have been cheaper, too.
I also like how, you know, one of the big Terra Prime rallying calls is the Xindi attack on Florida, which was shooting a giant laser from space onto Earth. So the way that Terra Prime is going to demonstrate their power and resolve is to shoot a giant laser from space and Earth.
Well, actually, I kind of wonder if, like, psychologically that's actually brilliant, because that's got to be like re-traumatizing to everybody, you know? Like, maybe that's what I mean. Well, so I'm not trying to give Paxton any credit here, because he seems like a fucking idiot.
I was gonna say, I don't want to give the writers credit, but like, that is the thing with these fucking lunatics, is like,
the writers,
when I with these sorts of, you know, right-wing lunatics, it's like, when I do it, it's cool.
When I do it, it's a statement. When you do it, it's bad.
Yeah. So, like, and again, that actually fits. I don't know that I want to give the writers that much credit, because they are fucking the Enterprise writers.
You gotta give the writers all the credit. This is the best episode of Enterprise ever.
Tell me why.
This is the most I've ever enjoyed this show.
Wow.
Why? I don't know.
There is a lot that's engaging. Here's a quote. Actually, I have a great quote. I have a great quote to segue into Caitlin's thoughts from Jammer's Reviews. This is an episode that always feels scripted, even though the script itself is pretty good.
I mean, it is scripted. What?
Were we expected to think that Star Trek was an
improv
show?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you telling me that this isn't a documentary?
Yes.
Curb your Trek-thusiasm? It's like, we gave them a rough idea, and then they just were let go with it. God, imagine having to fucking improvise technobabble.
Imagine Larry David as Captain Archer.
Woof.
That's a better Captain Archer.
These are the same picture. Like, I don't know.
No,
actually, that's not true. Larry David would probably commit way less genocide.
From what little I've seen of the show, like, he would be annoyed about being in space, but he wouldn't necessarily, like, he's not being a dick to you because you're an alien. He's just a dick to everyone.
That's true.
And I feel like...
Well, and most of the time, he's not even doing it on purpose.
True.
He's just, like, fucking
oh my God.
oblivious.
Captain Larry David and those aliens that find everything rude. That would have been a season-long arc.
Just give him one of those vanilla bullshits. All right.
Sorry, you had thoughts, though.
Oh, man, it's cool. No, I don't even, like, I gotta be honest, like, I really don't know why I liked this so much. I just think that, like, well, first of all, you know, it flattered me by meeting me at every turn, being like, yes, you're completely correct about your stupid theory. And I was like, well, thank you this episode. That's wonderful.
Obviously tripping to Paul's baby.
I really did think that, though. I was like, well, it's probably...
It looks Floridian.
Let's see. A human baby... Yeah, it was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. A Hawaiian onesie. No, but, like, it's like, okay, let's see. Human, Vulcan, hybrid. Who do we know that's like that? Well, Sarek is probably at least a twinkle in someone's balls by now, but I don't know if he's alive. But do we know any couples that might... oh, yeah, isn't Trip... fucking to Paul?
So did Ensign Massaro do this on purpose? Like, he was like, they're fucking. I'm going to make it their DNA that I swab up.
So
I have no idea. I mean, but
here's the thing.
I mean, if they were in the same shower together, it probably wasn't hard to get it. You know, it's figured like a one-stop shop would be easier.
So this is the thing that occurred to me while we were talking about it.
Yeah. What was the point of the baby?
No. Who was Paxton? Yeah. Well, yes, this ties into that. Like,
yes.
Who does number 2 work
for?
Who
does, like, Paxton apparently, like, needed Trip's expertise to get the Verteron Ray to do what he wanted, right?
Yeah, he has no engineers on the moon.
He was only able to capture Trip. Yeah. He was only...
Oh, right, because Trip fucking came looking for the baby.
Right, so, I mean, unless the plan, and this is some Romulan-level shit...
Oh, my God.
...was, I will make his baby, and then...
So that I can lure him to me...
Right, which means they had to have, except the thing is we know that's not the case because he seemed upset that Corey had gotten away with the sample.
Oh, shit.
But again, like, unless the plan was, which we know it wasn't, he'll find out and come looking for it and then I will capture him. As it is, like, who was going to fix the Verteron Array for him originally?
Mercer,
like,
but he had him killed.
Right, like, well, no, because he was an MD, not an engineer.
Listen, if you're a scientist, you're every kind of scientist.
But that's what I mean. It's like, why did he make this baby except just to be like, look, everyone, it's evil. And then it spits up a little. He's like, see, look at, now I'm going to get this dry clean. That is evil.
Making my point.
Yeah, I love every fucking scene that Paxton is going on and on about how evil the baby is. It's like, you're the one that made him. You made her.
Yeah,
really, that's the other thing, too. This is like when Trump would fuck shit up and then fix it and try to be like, see, I made it okay. It's like, you also made the problem.
Terra Prime, the cause of and solution to all of Earth's problems.
Yeah, well, I mean...
But, like, seriously.
The fact that the baby is
adorable.
lab-grown is, like, Paxton's dirty little secret. Like, nobody... I feel like the only people that know that are him...
And the other people that he had killed.
Yeah, and the people that he had killed. So, like, even
Phony Todd,
Tony Todd guy,
Phony Todd,
even he Phony Todd
Phony Todd
thought it was actually Trip's baby because when he was like guarding Trip as he was fixing the array, he's like, yeah, you see what you got for banging a Vulcan chick.
So did he think they just kidnapped a baby?
I think he thought they just kidnapped a baby.
That's even more
that guy
insane.
Didn't seem right.
I mean,
though,
they're fucking Trumpers. They're not bright.
Yeah.
No.
I did appreciate, though, at least, because when because again, I've seen this one, but I really forgot a lot of the finer points.
There's so many finer points.
But
yeah, how could you
when
not?
When they were going quote unquote undercover, I was like, you are some of the most famous people on Earth.
Send Mayweather. No one recognizes Mayweather.
Like, at least put on some fucking joke store fucking Groucho Marx glasses, guys.
We're like,
no, if he had done that, you wouldn't be able to tell him apart from Dr. Groucho Marx.
True.
There.
But then, so like, they get there, and that guy, like, right away is like, hey, you seem like a racist, and Trip is like, thanks?
Is it the accent?
You can tell I'm from Florida without even talking.
But then it's like, oh, okay, they were recognized, and that's why the guy was so, like, quick to okay, I credit where it's due for once.
T'Pol never even hides her ears. Son of a
Yeah, it's
bitch.
like, yeah, as soon as Trip
Well,
makes
you
contact,
see, there was a rice picking accident, and
as soon as Trip makes contact with the racist, he goes and talks to T'Pol, and he's not like immediately like, yeah, you should put on a hat because there's some racist shit going on in this mine.
Well, that seemed weird too, but they did establish that there were alien workers in the mines, so it was a little less weird. But again, she's also the most famous Vulcan in the system. Like,
if not, the
I'm sure. What was his name?
Have you seen that ass? So
True.
Obviously.
She does have
That's
a
what
nice
they were
bum.
counting on. It's like they could all recognize her butt, but it's like, yeah, but what's her face look like? And they went, what?
Who cares?
I know
Oh, yeah,
she's got a
T'Pol
bowl
was in
cut.
disguise.
Yeah.
Robots in disguise.
That's excellent.
More than meets the
Who the
eyes.
fuck was that minister dickhead?
Samuels.
Samuels.
Well, you know,
Like,
Minister
that thing is
Dickhead.
like, he didn't like give them credit while he was talking, but I'm sure he had them there so that he could get a photo with, you know, the people that saved Earth from the Xindi. Now go away. What I did appreciate about him was he did feel very much like your classic TOS, like, Federation bureaucrat.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
Especially since he wanted to blow up the array so bad, and Hoshi had to be like, delay.
Yeah.
Archer,
Like-
help.
Like, he just needed some fat flaps, and it would have been 100% the guy from fucking... Oh,
I'm sorry, he needed
Fat
what?
Flaps?
Fat
Remember
Flaps.
way back in TOS, I want to say maybe it was, might have been the Tholian Web, I don't know. But it was one where they were,
The only thing
either way, it was
Go
one where
ahead.
they were transporting some goddamn Federation diplomat who was an asshole, and like Kirk or somebody was missing. Oh no, maybe it was one, anyway, it doesn't matter. And he had like a suit jacket, but to make it futuristic, they like cut the sleeves open and just had this like cloth hanging down, and we called them the Fat Flaps at the time. Because it was like when he was
Oh,
jerking
man.
off, they would have flapped around.
I'm thinking Taste
yeah,
of Armageddon,
100%.
but I don't know if that was a different fucking ambassador.
Yeah, there
But,
were so
yeah,
many,
one
but
of
I
them.
think it was that one. Yeah, I
Might
think
have
that was
been.
specifically because I feel like I remember Scotty being in charge, and because they were down on the planet.
never a good
Yeah.
plan.
Well, you know, no, he's fine in charge. Just don't leave him alone with women.
Don't leave him with the women. Yep. Whoop.
Yeah. Oh, I did like to, speaking of TOS callbacks, how do we stop spending money on CGing these ears? Put a hat on it.
Yep, there was definitely a scene where like, they got sick of CGing the ears because you know you cannot have consistently good ears on a baby. I think you can. I think they've definitely like put little ears on a baby before in one of the movies or something.
Probably
5? Might have been 5.
When Babby Spock is born.
Yeah.
You're telling me you can Borg a baby, but
Well,
you can't ear a
that
baby?
episode
That's
was like
crazy.
15 years earlier. The rules have changed.
Also, the Borg baby was just wearing a hat.
True.
ahead,
Phony Todd is actually, he's kind of a one-hit wonder, or maybe a one-kick wonder. He's the guy that Gerard Butler, This Is Sparta's, into a pit.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
nice.
Oh.
Yeah, because like this guy's...
Say that one kick wonder again now, because it makes more sense.
No, it was foreshadowing. That's how
I
puns
get it.
work. You foreshadow a pun so that no one gets it until it's too late.
What
see.
soccer movie was he in? One of the
son of a
Airbuds?
Bend it like Beckham 2.
2 specifically.
Bend it like Tony Todd.
Bend it like Tony Todd.
Oh yeah, there's a little Easter egg I noticed from when I think it's at the start of the episode they show like the Starfleet emblem on the floor, and it
Yes!
says United Earth Space Probe Agency, which is
Yep.
what the TOS Enterprise, that's what that Starfleet was known as in TOS.
Yeah, for like a couple of episodes,
Yeah.
yes.
They
I
had
did-
before they decided they were going to call it Starfleet, they called it United Earth Space Probe Agency.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I like
which
the shots of, I guess you got to see Sojourner at some point, and the Carl Sagan Memorial Station
Yeah.
was a cute touch
Yeah.
on Mars. That was
Yes,
nice.
That was cool.
Oh, yeah, that's where the rover was. It was like a little rover memorial.
Yeah, that which again, like, I do love that. Wow, let me try that again.
Nope.
Which just reminded me of that thing you see online sometimes, because we all kind of assume, because we never see it in comparison to a person usually. Like, we always think of it as this cute little thing, like the size of an RC car, and then they show you a photo of it before we launched it, and it's enormous.
It's like a fucking SUV, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge, which makes sense in retrospect. But
I think some of the early ones were pretty small, but like the more modern
Yeah.
ones are quite big.
yeah, but we all kind of assume they're all still tiny, and it's like, no, they have. Did you think it was picking up pebbles? It is picking up some big fucking rocks. Don't get me wrong, I still anthropomorphize the hell out of them like everyone else.
I want
But-
those rocks.
I want to be those rocks. I'm just kidding, I don't know. I don't know.
I got
I'm
a
sorry.
rock.
Hard boner looking at that space
Peter
thing.
means rock.
Gross.
Yeah. Oh.
It's not gross, Ames. It's just
So,
science.
looking at the notes, Colonel Green.
Yeah.
Which, what a deep cut. I feel like there are probably TOS fans who were like, am I supposed to know who this is?
Right.
But then it occurred to me there's a bit of an issue. To Paul, when she's mocking RoboCop for his Rigelian gene therapy or whatever, it's like, oh, Colonel Green would think you're shit. She wasn't in the room when he was watching that Colonel Green speech and jerking off to it, so...
I imagine he plays it all over the place, so...
Yeah, I'm going to assume that, like, Colonel Green is, like, a known figure.
It's probably like a fair bet that if he's doing this, he probably likes Green.
Yeah, or maybe Terra
fair.
Prime is just, like, Green followers in general.
Yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense.
You know, like the German-American Bund or something.
Yeah. Again, though, does track with these people. Like, I hate aliens except for when they're curing my diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Or hot.
Like,
or
that's the thing.
really
They
hot.
definitely nailed the, like, just suck and hypocrisy of right-wing racist douchebags. Like, again, it is sad how still fucking relevant RoboCop is and probably always will be.
The movie or the character?
Both. It occurred to me, I didn't mean for that, but yes, both the film and Paxton, always relevant, which is sad.
Yeah, I just wish I could understand more of what the name is gone. Played
Paxton.
RoboCop.
Oh, Peter Weller.
Peter Weller,
Paxton?
thank you.
Oh,
I
Peter Weller.
swear he was putting on this, I'm going to talk with my mouth that barely opens, because I couldn't understand every couple of words he was saying. I was like, are you acting? Like, what choice was this that you made? Or is that just how he talks?
Oh.
I think that is kind of how he
Tim
talks.
has discovered acting.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah, I didn't have huge issue, but
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he
Every
was a
couple of
little
lines, I was like,
mumbly.
what did he just say? Because I can't understand him.
Like that guy in Young Frankenstein, and no one can understand. what he says.
Footsteps.
Yep, that guy.
Oh, you know.
Oh, don't you know?
I know.
Get some
Why
hot
the
dish.
fuck was Archer? Why didn't he just shoot the man?
Everyone, they have stun settings on their
Like,
phase
like,
pistols.
There's the whole end scene.
Oh, it's ludicrous.
It was stupid when
Bad.
Okay, the window gets cracked.
Yeah, telegraphed poorly.
And then like Archer stands up, lets RoboCop speechify for a while, and he moves to be standing in front of the window,
and you'd
leading
think
you
it's
to
on
believe,
purpose.
yeah, like, oh, he's gonna do something where he's gonna like bash
Shoot the window.
and he's gonna grab a thing, and RoboCop's gonna get blown out. Whatever, you think it's part of the thing, but no, he just totally forgot that the window's about to shatter behind him because he's as shocked as anyone when it does.
Well, at least he didn't try to jump over a railing and hang on
Right.
or whatever the fuck happened that other time.
I don't even know why I mean, I guess,
Tom Paris wasn't directing this week, apparently. Actually, LeVar Burton
He did.
directed the first one, right?
yeah, so they make it, the final confrontation was kind of stupid.
Yeah, literally, as they walk in, I'm just screaming at the television, shoot them! You have stun, shoot them, son of a goddamn bitch!
You have a stun setting on your gun. We'll shoot them together.
They should have. What's the fucking harm? Even when they're talking to Paxton, it's like, don't talk to him, shoot him.
Look, this episode apparently ran so short they had to tack on Ensign Massaro.
Oh my god, the most useless
So-
man in space.
Poor
They should have just made it
Massaro.
Kelby. Like,
Yeah.
they've already established Kelby as a character who's like people don't really care for. He's kind of incompetent.
Yeah. It would
Doesn't
have
like
tracked.
Trip.
Well, and they thought it was him
Yeah.
for a second.
Yeah, and
He was just a red
but like,
herring.
why? What's the point? Why not just have it be him?
Honestly, it would have had more impact.
Because one more twist. What's one more twist among
It would have had more
friends?
impact if it was fucking Ensign Seth MacFarlane, because we'd at least seen him before.
Right.
But no, it's this kid who literally had not been in a single minute of this two-parter until he showed up to kill himself.
Or the show
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad.
Like, but at least, like, I mean, Star Trek has before introduced a character within an episode for them to be important and never be seen again. So I would give them that fine. But this was literally, have you seen Ensign Massaro? Fucking who? Jesus Christ, you could have brought back that ensign who showed up 2 or 3 times in season 1. They had a Russian sounding name.
Novakovich?
Yeah. Fuck, that would have been better. We'd be like, yeah, that guy. Like,
yeah, no, it really just should have been Kelby. Like, that would have made the most sense because it's a character we've seen recently, and we already kind of are predisposed to dislike him.
yeah.
I also think there are just way too many kind of extremely cuttable plot elements in this
Oh, God,
two-parter. Like, did we need this whole, there's a mole on Enterprise and that's how, they sabotaged a thing and also got the DNA? Not really. Didn't need that. It didn't also have to be like this whole, what was your fucking name? Gannett. There didn't need to be this Gannett subplot with Mayweather. But
Oh, yeah. I could have done without Gannett, but I was glad they gave Mayweather something to
Mayweather
do.
But yeah, Gannett.
This is the most he's done in ages.
The whole
Well, I meant the plot, but yes.
twist and then the double twist was stupid and felt tacked on. Like, I would have bought it if she was a Terra Prime mole. Like, that would have made sense because she's there, she's trying to figure out, find out what's going on with the what the Enterprise is going to do or whatever.
I was predisposed to dislike
her
her because she was a mediocre actor.
oh yeah, not great.
Yeah, also, like, you realize how stupid the head-mounted news cameras are, because, like, she's, like, 2 inches from Mayweather's face interviewing him, and then, like, I don't know, stupid. Just stupid.
Well, I think they literally just had those because they were in Generations, I think.
Yeah, and they looked stupid there, too.
They did, yes. Well, here they look worse because, again, the Enterprise prop designers suck.
It just looked like they went to Best Buy and picked up some Bluetooths and, like, glued them together.
It definitely looked like a PS2 accessory.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that the universal translators were Wii remotes at first.
That's fair.
Yeah, so we had her subplot that I think could have been excised and not lost very much. And, Mayweather still did a thing by piloting the shuttlecraft down there, so we're not losing too much Mayweather shit.
Yeah, but these are the most lines he's had since that episode where he went back to his family ship, so I'm sure Anthony was happy.
They're like, well, show's over.
Well,
I guess we'll just, I don't know what, let Mayweather have some
Well,
lines?
instead they should have actually done something that was useful for his character in another episode, but I feel like there was too much going on in this. I really hated going and talking to Harris, because that also was stuff we did not entirely need at all.
The least.
Well, but you feel like in the way that this feels like it's a finale, like for the whole show, though, it kind of feels like they were trying to, like, wrap up some plot points.
But they weren't. I don't think this was meant to be finale-y, because they had just learned the week before that they weren't renewed.
You see,
oh, wow. Well, then I have no idea. The writers are bad.
Okay, since the show is ending anyway, and we don't really need to preserve, like, we can start getting rid of characters that are in the main cast, potentially, or at least not, like, killing them, but just, like,
saying they go and take a new job. Hoshi goes back to Brazil. They go and take a new job,
or they go to jail, because here we go. The mole isn't Massaro, it's Mayweather.
Why?
No, listen, hear me out. Mayweather is the one that steals Trip and T'Pol's DNA and gets it to Terra Prime. But it's not because he's an Earth supremacist or a human supremacist. It's because making a Trip and T'Pol baby is the ultimate prank.
Oh my god!
Wow! Can you imagine the look on their face when they see that I made a baby out of them? Oh my god!
Oh, classic Mayweather.
Trip, you just gave away your whole fanfic.
No!
Jake, why are you so much better at Enterprise than anybody working on Enterprise?
Have fun raising a kid. Prank ya.
Gotcha.
18-year prank.
Hey.
Wow.
Oh my god, you broke Chris.
But speaking of 18-year prank, I kind of could have done without the brief time during the episode where Trip thinks that T'Pol might have baby trapped him.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's fucking
Yeah, what the hell was that
stupid.
about?
Where it's like,
That is fucking illogical.
But
my
also,
man.
like, before they established, like, yeah, it's the future, maybe she just had it put in a tank where it could grow. My first thought was like, dude, I think you'd have noticed.
Yeah.
That jumpsuit is not exactly loose.
Yeah, no, that's
You know what
true.
would have been a better plot? They
Anything?
don't have this weird clone baby. Fucking
Fair.
Paxton found out about Trip's baby from season 1 and has kidnapped
Oh,
that.
wow.
mm.
They don't pay attention to season 1.
I know.
Actually, here's the thing. Maybe we would find out that Vulcan's uteruses are actually in the donk, and that's why, like...
Oh, god damn it.
no,
Fuck
Hey,
you.
not all aliens keep their genitals
that's
in
what
the
I'm
same
saying.
place,
It's
bro.
like the nice bum. She was just carrying. That was just her baby bump.
How much would that suck? It's like, sorry, you can't sit for the next however many months this takes because you'll squish your babby.
I hate all of this.
No, Babby's all right. Babby's okay.
Yeah, I mean, here's the, like, we mentioned how it feels convoluted that Paxton
Yeah.
came up with this baby plot to begin with, and it feels, because they get rid of it at the end,
Yeah.
which is also kind of anticlimactic. I mean, it gives you a great scene with Trenier and Blaylock. Like, they
Yeah.
nailed that scene. And I guess, oh god, I wrote down this note. Connor Trenier's wife had just gotten pregnant. So Elizabeth's death, was, a tough scene for him to act, because he's like, oh, this is great timing, guys. I have to cry over a dead baby. Thanks. But no, he acted his ass off in that. But also, it's like, did you need to kill the baby?
No. I mean, again, credit.
Well, but they kind of did show it coming, though, like, because the baby was sick to begin with, and then, like, she's like, don't hurt my baby, and he's like, I'm not gonna have to, and I was like, oh, the baby has a fucking time-delayed death, this sucks.
I did appreciate as well in that scene. Again, that scene, when I was like, oh, fuck you, Enterprise, for making me feel feelings. You don't deserve to make me feel things.
It's Connor Trenier. He's the one making you feel things.
Yeah. I appreciated
Everybody made me feel things in this episode, honestly. Go on,
that
Ty.
for this very emotional and serious scene, they let Jolene Blaylock not wear the jumpsuit.
Yeah. Well, she was wearing like religious garb. It looked like.
She's in mourning, but like.
Well, she was, I was gonna say, she was doing the Vulcan sitting shit
Yeah,
up.
but I feel like there have been multiple times in the show where they've had like very serious or dramatic scenes with her, and she's in like the jumpsuit or fucking midriff revealing
Hot
underwear,
pants.
and it's like, let's let her wear dignified clothes in a serious scene for once, which I appreciated. Also, credit to John Billingsley.
Flux. Yeah.
When his little make something good come of this, like, can't stand that character, but he delivered that part very well.
Oh, God, when he said that it hurt as if it was his own child, I was like, okay, what the fuck? Why am I liking Phlox in the 11th hour? This isn't...
I didn't like Phlox in that scene.
I want to get through... Oh, God, I thought it was...
Here's what I wrote about Phlox.
As I'm approaching 40, my uterus is like, we gonna have babies? What's happening?
Oh, watch the new Alien Romulus
this
movie.
Was horrible.
You'll never want to have kids in your life.
Oh, no, I don't want to have kids. That's the thing. I don't, but my body does, And I'm
Here's
just
the thing I wrote about Phlox in that scene. Why is Phlox making this about him?
Because he's an asshole.
Well, let's be fair. The closer you are to a thing, you have fewer people to turn inward to, but more people to turn outward to. If you consider that the inner circle, right, is Trip and T'Pol, Phlox is probably the second circle out, and as long as he's not crying about it to Trip and T'Pol, it's okay, in my opinion. Like, it would suck if they were like, oh, our baby, and he was like, I know, I feel like I've lost a child, and then to them, that would be different, because they'd be like, yeah, except for the, 300 healthy children you have running around Denobula or whatever.
And that one that hates you.
But I think him saying it to someone who wasn't in the inner circle part of the pain is okay.
Who was he? Was he talking to Archer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know how I feel about... the feeling about the character side, I just think Billingsley delivered it really well.
Oh, he did great.
It felt very genuine.
He looked like he was trying really hard not to cry,
Yeah. And also, I feel like he's super close with T'Pol, so, it's like his friend is
off
suffering.
Her plate more than anybody.
He raised Sim, he raised Trip's clone. He's kind of like a surrogate uncle in this case.
He euthanized Trip's clone.
Yep.
That too.
Humanely, we think, probably.
No.
Definitely ate his toenails when he was done.
Oh, gross. But that was part of why I liked this so much, was I felt like we got a lot of really well-acted, really emotional moments from characters. And again,
yeah.
It honestly, it making me like Phlox a little, and normally I think it would have pissed me off a lot, but I was just kind of like, all right, maybe this is what everyone who watches this show sees. Everyone who likes Phlox, like, this is why they like Phlox. And if that was the case, then I'm like, all right, well, if we were always getting this Phlox and not stealing your celery, telling you should bang his wife, all this weird shit Phlox, I would like him better. Like, knowing that at the heart of Phlox is this, I'm like, all right, maybe Phlox, though deeply flawed, is not so bad. And then Christmas, and then guys, you got your Christmas shopping's all figured out. Just get me a Phlox doll. Good to go, you know? I'll put him right next to Neelix in a basket that says, my greatest love born of my greatest hate, or whatever.
Oh, I also know in the scene, in the hello, I am your mother, you are a baby scene, originally they were going to have T'Pol sing her a Vulcan lullaby.
Huh.
And I almost kind of wish we got that, because, you know, otherwise T'Pol is just kind of mommy this episode. But it's also, you know, it's an experience that she was not expecting to have, so she's interesting. But it also means, like, she's mostly there so that Trip is forced to do engineering because she's at gunpoint and all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I know I mentioned this earlier, but, like, his very elaborate belt. I did feel like, you know, it's like a MacGyver scene when he's breaking out. And I even noticed that, like, the background music was...
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, weird background music in that scene.
It felt like it was trying to, like, invoke MacGyver or some other 80s, like, action show. Like,
it was Escape
not
from a Dungeon music.
It was totally out of place in this episode, because we've never had music like that in any...
Oh yeah, it's out of place in Star Trek
that I'm aware of.
Full stop. Yeah, it's like, again, I swear they were intentionally trying to invoke, like, an 80s action show or something. Like,
it threw me off, like, hardcore.
Very noticeable.
If you're starring RoboCop, I mean...
True.
It's not the worst choice.
I have another music note, and that's that apparently I don't know if it was the directors and the composers or who were having this big argument about Archer's final speech at the end about, you know, our happy best friendships club and all this stuff and, you know, hope and this and Archer speechifying. Should it have music under it or not? And I guess the music director or whoever was like, I already have the music kind of in my head, so I would like to use it. And they let him use it. And I'm watching that scene like, this is the scene they're talking about. Because it starts silent and then the music builds into it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that needed music. Fools. Listen to your music director.
Yeah. I feel like Archer was barely in these episodes, which is good.
Yep.
But then at the end, they still had to make it...
Maybe that's why I liked him so much.
There it is.
But in the end, they still had to make it about Archer. Like, he ultimately, even though it's still Trip who actually causes the laser to shift and all the other stuff, like... And I get that, he's the captain, he's going to make the speech, but it feels like maybe he should have deferred to Paul and Trip, and they could have said something like...
No, they're mourning. They'd be crying.
True. But it just feels like he didn't earn any of this. He's just there. He wore that terror. I do not know who designed their, like, mission vests, but those were hideous.
Oh yeah, those looked dumb. The coats were okay.
The coats were good, but the little vests underneath, it was like, they looked like that they were some sort of very weirdly themed restaurant. I don't know what the theme is, but it's bad.
I was trying to find where I wrote about those outfits. I said that Archer and Reed are in their breaking outfits so they can do some Olympic breakdancing.
There
Relevant
we go.
Joke.
Yeah, God.
We're not talking about that anymore.
They'd probably do better. One thing I meant to mention earlier when we were talking about Brooks there. I will say this. Starfleet intelligence fucking up a mission that badly tracks.
Yeah.
Every
what
time.
The fuck was her role? Oh, she wanted to find the mole.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. Fuck her.
Hey, here's how you find the mole. You call their chief of security and tell him you think there's a mole. Well, if you think he might be the mole. That's the problem with moles. You don't know who you can trust. But
so she's not in league with Harris. This is a different intelligence agency.
Well, what you do is, when you think there's a mole, instead of sending someone posing as a reporter, you get someone transferred onto the ship who works for you. And, you know, they are right at Earth. It wouldn't have been that hard. I'm sure some crew swapped out while they were there.
Yeah, Enterprise's moles all the way down.
Especially the mole people they met on Molus 9.
Oh, I was also sad when Malcolm was like the one Enterprise crew member that gets shot in that firefight at the end. It's like, get Malcolm out of here. I'm like, why did Malcolm go down? Jeez.
Well, he was still kind of dizzy from the flight. So.
Oh, yeah, that was a good touch that, he had a bag that he had clearly just horked in.
He's passing it back to Phlox. Well, he's like, can I
Phlox
assist you?
eats it.
Oh, Ames.
I thought the same thing!
No! Stop it!
I did! Phlox was looking at it
I believe
like,
you,
all
but...
right.
But I did,
Jake made that joke to me when I was like, what's in the bag? I was like, oh, that's what's in the bag. And Jake made that joke too.
What's in the bag?
Well, yeah, because Reed was like feeling unwell. And Phlox, can I
give you something is what he said. And then he hands him a bag.
Well, because he says like, oh, I've already had the maximum dose of, whatever their anti-queasy medication. And he's like, oh, well, in that case, here. This is all I can do in that case.
Not if there's some Vulcan neuro pressure.
Prescription, but...
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Nothing.
Vulcan neuro pressure.
Oh, God, no. I wouldn't want to be in Reed's head, especially if I was T'Pol. She'd be like, ugh, it's just my ass everywhere.
And pineapples.
Maybe that's why he winds up alone. Maybe there's an alternate universe where Reed and T'Pol, become this super bonded lover pair,
I'm not opposed.
I don't know.
Speaking of super bond lover pairs, I read that the Andorian ambassador Thoris, who we see sassing, I think I wrote down a great line. He said, "God, but it's gone."
Oh, the one about how your planet's so divided or whatever.
Maybe you shouldn't be. Maybe you're not ready to host this conference.
Yeah, Earthmen talk about unity whilst their world is deeply divided. Like that's a good line. That guy was originally supposed to be Shran.
Oh man, I was thinking that this was a great opportunity for Shran. Why didn't we have Shran, Ames?
Because they're going to put Shran in the finale, and for reasons they decided he can't do both.
That's stupid.
Maybe.
But also, because you got he's not Walter Koenig. He gets 4 ham sandwiches when he turns up.
The other thing too
Jeffrey
is,
Combs.
If we're realistic, there's 2 things. One, Shran's not really an ambassador.
No.
True.
And it would be a terrible choice for one. And 2, if he's there, it's going to feel weird that he's not more involved.
Yeah.
He's not just going to sit there to say one sassy line to this guy and then vanish. You'd be where the fuck is...
It does sound like him.
Yeah, but he, especially if Archer is he's going to be like, I must help my friend, Archer.
Oh my God, I'm glad you said boyfriend, because was everyone gay in this episode? I'm not even trying to be funny, but I felt like Paxton really wanted to fuck Greaves.
Oh, ditto.
And maybe vice versa.
He was like, I love watching you work.
Yeah, and they had lots of weird flirty shit. And then I felt there was someone else. There was another pair. Oh, I felt like Reed and his secret Section 31 boyfriend kind of.
Ugh,
because I feel what was his name?
Harris.
No.
I felt like Harris was being kind of flirty, it's been 3 days since you told me never to contact you again, and here we are.
Well, to be fair, you didn't contact me, I contacted you.
Yeah, no, I was like, wow, y'all should just touch dicks now.
Yeah.
And I there might have been someone else, but was the president really hot for anybody, or whatever he was? The
minister?
Preacher?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Maybe it was just those two. I was like, wow. This is the gayest shit I've ever seen. And I was there for it, don't get me wrong.
He was thirsty for fame. So if fame is an anthropomorphized concept as a dude, then maybe he's gay for fame?
Might be. How about, so we see on Earth, when we're meeting with ambassadors and shit, that Corridan ambassador with the weird face prosthetic thing going on, played by, and we've seen him before, game show host Tom Bergeron.
Okay, I saw his name in the credits and was looking for him, and when I didn't see him, I was like, well, he must have been one of the aliens.
Yep, he was that one.
Who was he? Which one was he?
He was an alien.
No, which
the one
alien, though?
Kind of the cyborg-looking face, almost.
Kind of looked like he had a face hugger.
Yeah.
That was cool makeup, too.
That was good, I like that.
Did we get any makeup nods for this episode, Ames, that you found in your travels?
Not that I found.
That's too bad. I feel like there was a lot of good ones.
Maybe
it was just that one.
Does anybody here remember or have seen the TV series Alien Nation?
No.
I have heard of it. I know that, wasn't Saval in it?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I realized that, so Saval was in it. He was
the human.
So the backstory of the show is really freaking bizarre when you think about it. It's a police procedural, like Law and Order or something, where the setup is aliens and humans live on Earth together now.
Good, good.
And it's a buddy cop series, and there's a human cop and an alien cop.
Are these alien cops like prosthetic makeup shit, or are they just painted green?
No, they I mean, they're not as sophisticated as a lot of it's Star Trek makeup, but they do have like
weird heads,
spots. Yeah,
their face is completely like left free to act.
Yeah,
but their heads are big and kind of veiny.
But I realized that the two leads on that show were Gary Graham, who plays Saval, and I don't know the actor's name, but the actor that plays Harris.
Oh, wow.
And interestingly, Saval was the human character and Harris was the alien.
That's funny. I didn't know Harris was the alien. Yeah, I only found out recently because, when Saval's actor passed, I was like, oh, he was in that. I was like, oh, no shit. Yeah, apparently the premise, too, is that the aliens that are on Earth specifically, like, it's all an unsubtle metaphor thing. But, it's like, oh, it's racism, but instead of white and black guys, it's a white guy and a white alien. And I think the aliens are like refugees from some kind of interstellar war that somehow find their way to Earth, who, Earth's like, oh, apparently aliens are real and are coming here to escape a war that hopefully won't wind up on our doorsteps, I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember. I saw it many, many years ago. I think they used to replay reruns on the Sci-Fi Channel, so I don't even know if I've seen all of it, but it was fine.
Yeah,
but I don't think there was a lot of it. I think it was like a one season type of thing.
Yeah, it like lasted a season. I think they got a couple of TV movies or something.
No, maybe.
Yeah, no, it does feel like, though, unfortunately, Reed is definitely going to wind up in Section 31, like, properly and fully someday.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to escape it.
I wonder if we had gotten a fifth season. We would have gotten some interesting stuff, I imagine. But I'm sure they would have mined so much more Section 31 that I don't need.
Yeah.
Well, if they were planning to do the Romulan War as their fifth season arc, they definitely, like, Section 31 would have been all over that shit.
That actually might have been the one good use of them, because you could watch Section 31 and the Romulans try to out-convolute one another until both just imploded horribly. God.
Yeah.
Oh, the end scene. I know you sort of already mentioned it, but Trip and T'Pol at the end, it was really beautiful. And like you said, Trip was acting his nuts off.
Would have been great.
It was all like very believable.
And if the show,
again, really beautiful.
If the show had just stopped there.
I think, because I know next week's just going to make me angry.
Do you even... I think you've managed to not even know the full extent of how stupid it is.
I don't know anything. I only
don't even tell her it's stupid.
No,
I only know
my favorite
it's
episode.
A wonderful episode and a great send off to the series.
I know that's not true. They've never managed that. I was thinking about, like, while they were stuffing all of these, like, ridiculous plot twists into this episode, and I had been talking about the fact that, like, sometimes Star Trek deserves a two-parter, but more often than not, it seems like if they just had an extra 10 minutes, it would be fine. Stuff like this. I was thinking about how dirty, and I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but how dirty Deep Space Nine got done right at the end. Right at the fucking end.
And they had a fucking 10-parter.
And they were like, oh, we totally forgot about Gul Dukat. Here we go.
Yeah, if they had cut extreme fucking measures with Section 30 fucking 1...
Yeah, fuck that shit.
They could have probably used the time more wisely to make it make fucking sense.
Yeah, and it's like I get, like, Enterprise, didn't have time to plan a proper finale.
No, not at all.
This would have worked thematically and should have just been the end. But, like,
I think if they had flipped the scenes, if they had flipped the Trip into Paul scene and the Archer scene...
Yeah. To end on the speech.
The Archer speech makes a good, like, this is the end of the show speech, because it's like, we're going into the future.
Yeah, especially since you don't have a ton of time to plan, since you just learned you were canceled.
Yeah.
We're going to have to find out next week, because I don't know where the story came from in terms of, is this a finale-worthy finale? So I'll find that out next week. I do know, and this is kind of bizarre to me, because I don't understand why they did this, that Terra Prime, the part 2 of this two-parter, aired the same day as the finale?
Sure, why not?
So they played this, and then they played These Are the Voyages, same day, and These Are the Voyages, I believe, is a double length, so...
Yeah.
Oh, it
they
is?
just had all Enterprise, isn't it?
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure it's feature length. I
God.
could be wrong about that. I
No,
don't
you're
remember.
probably right. It's not bad enough. It's long, too. Fucking hell.
I feel like they always do feature length for the finales. Of the
No, I know. I just thought maybe with this one, because it was kind of a last-minute tack on,
Yeah.
maybe they hadn't, but...
Yeah, we'll find out next week how they did it.
Mm.
Because it's not like you just have a finale in your back pocket ready to go.
No.
Unless
No,
you do, maybe they did.
I was going to say, unless you're the Babylon 5 guy, maybe. He very famously had, like, countless contingencies written for, like, if actors left the show or if, like, plans changed. A conspiracy wall thread thing of, like, all these real-world contingencies fucking with his show so that he could still basically tell the story he wanted. So he might have had a secret finale ready to go, but no one else would.
Yeah, I mean, did he write pretty much all of Babylon 5? I feel like because he was like the single hand kind of like shaping the arc of the show, whilst this show has people in rooms never talking to each other, apparently.
Yeah, like, he was sort of a showrunner in the modern sense, where, like, you know, like, nowadays, I feel like that's just normal. You have someone who's sort of in charge of overseeing the whole writing process, whereas this is still that era where there's just a producer, but then, like you said, a bunch of writing teams off in places without anyone really focusing them, so...
Yeah, to say, hey, we used Romulans in our episode. Oh, we're using Romulans in our episode in a way that contradicts yours. Oh, morons.
Yeah, so I don't know
Morons.
enough about... He either wrote all of it, or he, at the very least, was very carefully monitoring all the writers, one or the other.
Actually, I just looked it up, and These Are the Voyages is not feature length.
Oh, thank fuck.
Oh,
Wow.
well, that'll be easy next week.
Hmm.
We'll be in and out of These Are the Voyages in all of 20 minutes.
That's still too fucking long. All right. Anything else, Ames, or should we segue to broccoli?
Segue smoothly to broccoli. Something Phlox steals off of T'Pol's plate.
There we go. That's the segue.
Ah.
Not even going to re-record it to make it smooth.
Nope, it's all fine. Yeah, so this week we decided, hey, we got one more week of Enterprise before we hit the finale. We got one more character we can squeeze in who probably is worth talking about, and that's Reg Barclay, who we see in both TNG and Voyager.
Yep.
So we are prepared to crib from both. And boy, Broccoli does good and bad stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so are we covering both series with
Yes,
this?
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Everything's
that's
game.
honestly, in a way, that is a relief, because he's all good in Voyager and mostly bad in
Right?
in the other one, TNG, so...
All right, so who wants
Reg
to...
is Reg Barclay. Here's some good moments from Reg Barclay that I could think of. He saved those dudes in Realm of Fear.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone thought he was going crazy in the transporter, but he
I
was
think-
actually seeing weird snake creatures that turned out to be men.
Well, even he kind of thought he was going nuts for a while, I think.
For sure.
He might have been going nuts.
Yeah, he probably was, and it just hit coincidence that there were actual... he also saved the Enterprise in Hollow Pursuits from the thing that was wreaking havoc with everything.
The
Yep.
Invidium infection.
Yeah.
God,
I had to
that
look
has
it up.
gotten so expensive, especially during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Good joke, Chris.
It was-
Good
yeah.
one.
That's for 3 people.
But yeah, I mean, so that was good because that's the episode where he was introduced, and he was introduced as sort of this bumbling fool,
Creep.
big creep.
Big creep.
And this is on a show with Geordie LaForge, so you know it's bad.
When Geordie LaForge is like, you're a big creep, you're probably pretty bad.
Yeah, but then he ends up saving the day in the end. And then, I'm going to say there's lots of other good things, but I wanted to put a fun one in here. So I'm going to say naming his cat Neelix.
That's
I
cute.
forgot about that.
Yay.
That is good. All right, I'm going to go next because I also had Realm of Fear on there.
Nice.
Overcoming his own terror and madness, and in the 11th hour, working out that the worms were people somehow, which
I
still
don't even know
entirely...
if he knew. I thought he just wanted to hug a worm.
Pulling the most classic of Starfleet officer moves and fucking breaking all the rules and risking his career to contact Voyager and Pathfinder, which is, that's classic Starfleet. It's like, you do the dumbest thing, but it's okay because in the end it works, so they don't court-martial you. and bringing together the EMH and Zimmerman in Lifeline.
Yay! Oh, that's so cute. Are you prepared yet, Caitlin?
Oh God. So the Zimmerman EMH connection was one of the ones I was gonna say. Well, it's pretty great that Barclay brings Zimmerman and the Doctor together, because Zimmerman is like really against the idea of like a holo program of his own creation being able to like do any good, and
Well, especially
Barclay helps to convince him.
Well, he especially, resents the Mark 1 because it looks like him, and that's the one everyone dislikes because it's a jerk.
Well, this is a kinder, gentler EMH.
Kinder, gentler jerk.
I would still say, pursuing the question of like how to get the Voyager back, and because he sets up the communications array initially, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that his whole thing? So that's pretty good, I would say. And I know it doesn't count because it's fan fiction, but showing Zimmerman how to love.
Aww, that's sweet. And Jake's fanfic. Links below.
I know it's not canon, but I don't care.
It's canon to me, damn it.
Me, yeah, it's to me too. That's I love it. I loved that. I was thinking about, like, literally that's, like, the whole time that I've been, well, the whole time. When I realized the other day that Barclay was this week, that was what I thought of immediately. I was like, oh, his love. Then I'm like, wait a minute, that's not real. But it is, whatever.
It's real to us.
Yeah.
Some other things that are real that I want to mention that haven't been brought up yet. I want to give him some credit because even though he's kind of a prick in Hollow Pursuits and comes off as a holodeck addicted dick, he is great at the double swords play. Like he's got two fucking swords. He's taken on all the fucking musketeers at once. Like, good for him. That's something he actually has.
I already mentioned his relationship with Zimmerman names.
Okay.
Swordplay. Dicks. Touching dicks. It's always touching dicks.
It usually is. Another one, he finds that still tubing in First Contact to replace the Phoenix's warp plasma conduit. And he makes himself useful for all of one scene, so good for him.
Yes, in his minor cameo.
Oh god, that was probably Cochrane's still he broke, too.
Probably. And the other thing I'm going to give him is in Inside Man, when Ferengi are trying to steal the Voyager into a geodesic fold, he calls them up and totally tricks their asses in a way that's very uncharacteristic of him. But he does it, and it's a good little trick.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, he's also done some bad things.
Like being played by Dwight Schultz.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Yes, we must acknowledge, as we have previously, we love Barclay. Dwight Schultz is shit.
He really sucks. It's really too bad.
Yeah?
Better than Sorbo.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oof.
That's a low bar.
Yeah, thank God he was never on this show.
Yeah. Although I do love when Lucy Lawless dunks on him on Twitter.
Oh, it's always the best. Plus,
Lawless
she
is
still
awesome.
she also still actually has a career, too, so it's doubly funny.
Who is she dunking on?
Sorbo.
Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, okay.
Because she played Xena and he played Hercules.
Yeah.
And
So
Xena,
they
I think,
worked
started
together.
because it started as like a spin-off, and I think they did a couple of crossovers.
Yeah, there was definitely
Xena
some
was a
crossovers.
spin-off of I'm pretty sure Xena was a spin-off of Hercules and then exceeded it immensely in popularity.
Yeah.
Well, Lucy Lawless is hot as fuck. I
Yeah.
mean, Kevin Sorbo is kind of so-so. Even if he wasn't a twat, he's just not that attractive. He's kind of a Neanderthal-looking kind of man.
Anyway, we're not talking about that right-wing nut job
No.
today.
You're talking about a different right-wing nut job.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Paxton.
here's some of the bad stuff that Broccoli did. I'm just gonna say the goddess of empathy.
Yup.
Fucking creepy. I mean, really, almost anything from that Holo program is fucking
Yeah.
weird, except for the doofy Riker. That's hilarious.
I don't know. Will Wheaton eating pie is pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's another good one. But yeah, no, the goddess of empathy was very cringe.
I just remember, didn't he
And,
also make Riker like a foot shorter than he was in real life? Or something?
Probably more, like 2 or 3 feet.
But Riker was shorter, right? Am I making that up?
Yeah, because
Okay.
they're next to each other at one point. I'm gonna say, I mean, it's not really his fault per se, but he woke up Moriarty.
Yeah,
Oops.
In Ship in a Bottle.
he did.
And again, like, shame on Picard for imprisoning Moriarty for years in the computer, but also, yeah, it didn't work out great waking up Moriarty. And then we just imprisoned him again at a different computer. So
Yeah.
and then adding another kind of creepy Troy moment, I'm going to say stalking her while she was on vacation.
Dislike.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
He sure
Now, mind
did.
you, he was doing it theoretically because he wanted to talk to her about the Ferengi thing that was going on or something, wasn't it? Or
But you don't have to stalk her to do that. You can just
No.
call her.
yeah.
And why does it have to be her? Oh, because Barclay doesn't have friends.
Right.
Yeah. Also, he had like a breakup or something with his
Yes.
girlfriend.
Oh,
He
wait
did,
for it.
yeah.
That's going to be on my list, I think.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. So yeah, either way, stalking Troy on vacation is fucked up and creepy.
Yeah,
There
no,
is.
I'm sure we said at the time, but he has what about Bobbed like every other therapist he has had. Somehow only Troy has not just fired him into the sun.
If I was Riker, I would have increased security on their house
Yeah.
because like that guy is going to show up at some point with like a shotgun.
I think we see in Picard that he has a lot of security on the house.
It's all for Barclay.
All
Yep.
for Barclay.
All right. Well, I also said the fucking just every holodeck program in Hollow Pursuits.
Yep.
Oh boy. Not as stocky, but in Pathfinder, he's like using Troy as his on-call therapist. And it's like, dude, she is on the Enterprise. Countless millions of parsecs away from you. Like, get a local doctor, you creep. And I'm gonna say, even though we have no proof it's actually this, but I'm gonna say he's what pushed Zephram Cochrane over the edge in First Contact. That
I'm
was
glad
it.
you brought that up.
He was already complaining about the engineers giving him baby eyes. I mean, not baby eyes. What's the fucking word I want? Goo goo
Goo-goo
eyes or
eyes?
whatever. Yeah,
Goo
I
goo
guess it's
baby.
baby goo. Yeah, but I
Little-
feel like it
little
was.
Vulcan ears.
Yes.
Aw.
I think it was Broccoli showing up that finally, that was the straw that broke the camel's back and almost ruined the whole mission.
Is that what they meant when they said that the baby had Trip's eyes? They meant his goo-goo eyes?
Aw, because it's a baby, and they say goo.
That's true.
How about you, Caitlin? Do you also say goo?
Only when it's appropriate. So, obviously, the goddess of empathy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
What the fuck?
Running up to Troy on the beach and being like, Dr. Troy, you're my doctor. Help me still. Like you guys said, like, what the fuck, dude?
You don't get time off. You're my therapist.
Yep, you're my therapist.
24/7.
And probably the worst crime that Broccoli has ever committed, tasting so bad when it gets cold.
Getting very mushy.
Yep.
Funny.
Thank you.
I've got some spares, because why not? As I mentioned a moment ago, so he had that weird breakup thing with that
Yeah.
Leosa woman in Inside Man, and apparently it was just all him getting thoroughly tricked by her because she was
Yes.
in league with the Ferengi, and he was just so goo-goo-eyed that someone with tits was talking to him. So Barclay fucking see through that bullshit. What else have I got? I've got some other good ones.
Well, he's never even had a platonic relationship with a real human being. How could you expect him to have a romantic relationship with a real human being?
I just feel bad. So remember, like the director of the Pathfinder project was trying to set
Yeah.
Barclay up with his sister-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, he must fucking hate this woman.
I'm also going to say, so I know you guys were saying, like, in Pathfinder, using Troy as his therapist, and that was kind of gross. But also, he creates just a personal hollow Voyager for himself to interact with. Even though he's had hollow addiction problems, and it's all that coming right back up again, and he does the same fucking thing. And even though we don't have any proof that he's fucking any of them, it's still inappropriate as hell.
He's definitely fucking
He's fucking all of them, actually.
all
Creepy.
of them.
Yep, every single one, I'm sure.
And for some reason, Troy is also there.
Yes. There's like 5 Troys.
For some reason, for fucking.
Yeah.
Already
That
established.
And the last one I'm going to give it to is a kind of a jokey one, but I wanted to include it. I don't even think he's in this episode, but he's credited as doing the Hollow program, like, cowboy, like, routine
Yes.
that Alexander and Worf play in A Fistful of Datas, and that's terrible. I mean, if you're actually looking for something that is kind of weird about that program, is it's got a prostitute character that Alexander interacts with.
Yeah,
And it's like, Barclay, why did you write it this way? You're a weird fuck, Barclay.
Yeah, I feel like this doesn't Worf like I'll have to have a word with Lieutenant Barclay.
Yeah.
Why do they all look like Troy? Oh wait, they all look like
He'd be
Data.
into that, actually, you know?
He also...
Troy was badass because she was playing the sheriff in that episode.
Durango.
Yeah. They also he gave them an excuse to say Ancient West 1,000 times, which made me want to kill.
Yeah, it made me laugh at Chris's pain.
So much. Fucking broccoli.
Fucking broccoli. Yeah, so I'll put some spare moments because, yeah, like, I have some stupid little ones too, like diagnosing himself with transporter psychosis and Tyrellian death syndrome because he's a hypochondriac.
Uh,
And he has that fucking Genesis disease named after him now.
He does.
Oh, the T cell or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
something.
It's called
the de-evolutionizer.
Barclay protomorphosis syndrome, which Bev says, oh yeah, we usually name the disease after the first person to have it, which is emphatically incorrect. They usually name diseases after the doctor that discovers it. Fuck you, Barclay.
Or, on occasion, the most famous person to ever get it, like Lou Gehrig's disease. That might be the only case, though, now that I say that.
Or in some cases, the beer you want to drink after you've had it.
Coronavirus?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to make a joke about it. It didn't work.
That's all right. So many. Y'all got off some really good ones this episode. So everyone also gets a flat one
as a treat.
Yes, everyone gets a shit joke as a treat. Speaking of shit, next week we're finally done with Enterprise, but it is going kicking and fucking screaming. And I, for years, legitimately, even before I realized actually Enterprise is all bad, was thinking I would skip this one, but I can't because I'm introducing it. So join us next week for possibly the worst episode of any Star Trek ever. These are the Voyages.
I don't know, there's Bam.
Bam's only 20 minutes. As always, follow us on Facebook and SoundCloud and your favorite podcasting application and Tumblr, where all of our lists are, and very soon our Enterprise fanfictions.
Yay!
Woo! And yeah, and stick around, find out what we're going to be doing next, because holy shit, guys.
We weren't expecting to last this long.
Well, even if we weren't sure how much Star Trek there would be when we got here, and oh my god, there's so much.
Not as much as you think.
No, but still, more than we were expecting. So join us. We're going to have some fun. Next week, this has been Chair.
This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
And this is always Jake.
I am bombing out right now. I was literally like just getting my notes together, so I'm not
Should I cut all this, or do you want this to stay in? Oh
yeah, no, no. My God, no.
It's definitely staying in.
No, cut it, please.
Well, okay, all right. Let's take a do-over. I'll start.
Let's get a clean break so I can actually cut that and make it the after credits.
No.
Yes.